The place to be is living free in Tennessee.
Welcome to Living Free in Tennessee, where we talk about building the life you choose on your terms. Today is Friday, February 27th, 2026 still, right?
Okay.
And this is episode 1121. That means next week it'll be 1122.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Oh,
Should we do something special for episode 1122?
oh.
You don't know?
Trying to figure out why you're standing.
Oh, because I'm making cheese.
Okay.
Did you know we're making cheese today while we do the episode?
I kind of figured based on the stuff in the sink.
Coming to you live from the Base Camp Lodge at the Holler Homestead, it is Tactical Redneck and Nicole Sauce today to talk to you about our Homestead Happening show. And we're going to go through a talk we've been needing to have all week, live on the internet. Hopefully, tactically, you had some time to think about it. So we're going to talk about projects we want to achieve before the end of April. And what's going to happen is we're going to have too many and not be able to do them all. And then we need to choose some priorities. And that could get a little heated, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, we're also going to talk to you about fun things happening in the area and a cute little mouse story that happened this weekend. So that'll be happening there. Anyway, before we do that, I want to talk about our featured event of today's show, and that is the Homesteader Potluck Meetup and Seed Exchange, which is tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central, ends at 3 p.m. right here at the Base Camp Lodge. If you want to sign up and RSVP and let me know you're coming, because I have some RSVPs online and some not online, it helps me to have it all in one place. Go over to Facebook, find the Living Free in Tennessee page, find the event, and RSVP there. And if you can't do that, at least let me know, some other way. Email me, Telegram. But I will have the event sign up changed for next time. But right now, I'm doing everything through Facebook for this one for tomorrow. It also has the address where you drive to there, so you know where to come. Bring a potluck dish to share, and we'll have a good time here. I also have two sponsors to thank today. The first sponsor is Strong Roots Resources. Kerry Brown from Strong Roots Resources is our food forest whisperer here. He's keeping our orchard going, and we are iterating the soil through development in the food forest because it needs some work. So this year he'll be talking about some of that at the spring workshop, but he's going to be putting a whole bunch of comfrey in there. Tactical's also already been putting comfrey all over the yard, and we'll chop and drop that to improve the soil to make more room for like the herbaceous layer and some other things that will be going in over time. So we're really trying to get the soil right before we go into the other layers of the food forest, which a lot of food forest builds are more like, hey, here's all the layers. And then if it wasn't ready for all the layers, then your layers die. So that's what he's doing. And the way I figured out how to do that is I consulted with him. So sometimes you just want an outside consultant. Kerry Brown does that at strongrootsresources.com. Our second sponsor of today's show is Discount Mylar Bags. If you need to store your Mylar bag, your food stores in Mylar bags, the best place to get them is discountmylarbags.com. He sources these things in bulk, passes on the savings to you, and he's one of us. He's put a lot of thought to how we store food, and he has some resources at his website, discountmylarbags.com. Just look in the upper right-hand corner. His philosophy is going to be different than a lot of people who tell you to store food in giant bags and giant buckets. And then if you actually need to use them, and you open it up for your family of two, and you have a 5-gallon bucket of dry beans open, for example, is that a lot of beans?
I guess.
It's a lot of beans. Like when you cook beans, it's like you take a cup or two, and that feeds a lot of people, like a family of 4 easily after they've been cooked. So like think about how many cups are in a 5-gallon bucket with just one big Mylar bag. So his approach is like have smaller bags in the bucket, and then you don't have to open the big thing, seal the big thing. He also has all sorts of other food preservation and food storage concepts up there, discountmylarbags.com. With that, it's time for our first story of today's show. And I'm going to start with the fun one. How's that sound?
Squeak's getting airborne training.
Yeah, so I'm gonna set the foundation and you finish it. How's that work for you?
Okay.
Okay. So the other day, Squeaks has learned how to kill mice. And that's good for a bottle kitten because luckily I had other cats to teach her. She has been bringing mice, and I've been wanting to think that the mice were being brought from outside inside through the cat door because that's what everybody wants to think about mice in their house, because we don't want to ever think there is a mouse in our house. But also about 2 weeks ago, I was cleaning up above the ledge where I put jars of stuff up near the ceiling, and I noticed that there was a 1/2 inch gap between the drywall and the wall that needed to be caulked. And I like mentally put it on my, okay, next time I have the caulking out, I'm going to go make sure that's closed too, so that like stink bugs aren't coming into my house from the attic, or heaven forbid a mouse could fit through there. And then 2 days ago, I'm sitting with Tactical having a morning meeting, and I see a mouse start walking down the wall right there. And I pointed it out to him, and then you can take over. And here's what happened next.
First, I call Chestnut, who was completely oblivious with me pointing and everything else. And she's just like, what? So I was like, fine, I've got this. Squeaks. So Squeaks comes over, and I pick Squeaks up, and I hold Squeaks up, and she's looking down. So I hold her up higher, and she looks down even further, and I finally get her like right above the mouse, like within arm's reach. And she finally sees it and is like, oh. So she swats it, and it hits the ground. And so I didn't drop her, but she basically fast roped down and hits the ground. And the mouse tried to run under the fridge, and the mouse was not fast enough. And it got swatted out from underneath the fridge. And then it was just over.
Yeah. So that was cool. Also, I've bumped up the Caulk That Gap project on my personal priority list in the house, because apparently a mouse can get through that crack. And that's, mice are amazing what they can get through. So I'm going to get some steel wool and stuff it in there, and then I'll caulk the bottom so it's fully sealed. And then I'm going to look at the other side of my house to see if there's a similar, there should not have been a 1/2 inch gap, because when I had hired out having that done, I was like, the one thing I don't want is a gap between the wall and the ceiling leading to the attic, because mice do get up in my attic, because my house is built into the side of a hill. So
that has nothing to do with mice getting up there.
It has some things to do with mice getting up there. Your feet are now on the show.
Okay.
Did you see the Bear Independent episode where his feet were on the show?
Yes.
Yeah, they were like going to set up an Only Feet page for him. Yeah, Pack Rat says, good for Squeaks. I agree too. Okay, so now, before we go on to the thing you might be dreading, Tactical does not love talking about long lists of projects, correct?
I have my own long list of projects.
I know, you were supposed to bring it today.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The list of projects you want to get done before the end of April.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just my normal day-to-day.
Okay. Anyway, so before we do that, can we give a pregnancy update? What's your assessment of the pregnancy situation in the pasture?
There's a bunch of ewes that are pregnant.
How close are they?
There's a couple of them that are getting close.
Yeah. Are we going to move the dogs this weekend?
I don't know.
We're going to have to do something.
Like, I barely got set up for moving the girls yesterday. Moving the dogs requires setting up an entire second paddock, which...
Is their paddock they were just in still up?
It is, but I need the stuff from that one.
Oh, I was going to say, because we could put the dogs back there until it's time to set up the other paddock.
No.
Okay.
If I do that, then I can't move them again. Can't move anybody.
Okay, so your strategy is to move the dogs ahead of them and have 2 paddocks going?
Yeah.
Do we need to buy more stuff?
We always need to buy more stuff.
Okay.
There will probably never be a point where we don't need to buy more stuff.
The calendar tells me that the dogs need to be separated this weekend. So,
Okay.
yeah. So on the list of things to do before the end of April, it'd be good to move the dogs out of the girls somehow. Is that something I can help you with?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, the next thing I've got to do is go start pulling
Pulling.
prior fencing
Yeah.
because I had to go up the hill yesterday to go get stuff to bring down to be able to set up the rest of their paddock. And then it wound up being a post short. So I took it out of the paddock they were in previously and just let that fence hit the ground and got their next one all the way set up so that I could move them yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. Sue got to see that too, right? Or she wasn't there for the moving. She just got to
No.
see the pre-moving activity. Yep. Okay. Well, that's just something I'm going to add to the list of things, which is help with dog paddock setup, right?
Well,
So now April is coming. What do you want to have done by the end of April? And the reason April is our deadline is that the spring workshop is at the end of April, and there are things we like to have done before the spring workshop, both from a homestead productivity standpoint and just having different things set up for the workshop, because we do reset the homestead to accommodate that many people.
I mean, most of what I'm going to be working on is cleanup stuff, which if we are indeed getting a dumpster in, that's going to take care of a significant amount of what I need to do.
The dumpster arrives Thursday or Friday next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What do you mean by cleanup stuff? Because that's very generic. What are you cleaning up?
Well, I mean, I've got trash scattered all over the holler. There's a pile of half-rotten pallets. There's the concrete from old fence posts. There's a pile of metal off of the cabin. I've got piles of fencing in various places that have been dug out that need to go into a dumpster. I actually hit one of them yesterday with the four-wheeler because it was buried in weeds.
That makes sense.
So I've got a lot of that. And then cleaning up some of, like, I had a bunch of buckets full of stuff that needed to get dumped in a specific location. And I got that done. Now the inside of the buckets need to get cleaned out so that they can get stacked in their appropriate place.
Do you know what that alarm is for?
I can only think of one thing that alarm would be for.
What do you think it's for? The
Whatever's in
cheese.
that.
That's right. We're gonna check the curd, see if we have a clean break. What do you see there? You see that? That's a clean break.
Oh, I see.
You see
Your
that?
hand with a butter knife sticking in there.
Well-
I don't see it.
Well, stand up. Look, see?
Okay.
That's a clean break, which means I can slice it and it comes across. So I'm going to get my handy cheat sheet and I'm going to look at what I'm supposed to do because I won't remember off the top of my head. Okay, I need to cut it. So today I'm cutting the cheese live on the internet. What do you think about that, Tactical?
Oh.
Okay, so you have an Operation Eyesore you want to do with the dumpster. I have a GSD weekend scheduled for Saturday, March 7th, where community members can come and help us because we're gonna end up cleaning out all the storage buildings at base camp, which came pre-populated with stuff. And over the 6 years since we've had base camp, the condition of the stuff in buildings has not improved. So we're going to go through it, put a bunch in the dumpster. And while we're at it, it makes sense to overlap your project with that project, right?
Yeah.
where we just get as much. And I actually have things at my house that I'm adding. So that's on my list too of things to do. What else? Any other big projects on your mind?
I mean, I've got a laundry list of things that I am working on that have nothing to do with April, just have to do with this place in general.
Okay.
Some of that is seasonally dependent.
Right. You want to go through my list?
Okay.
Okay. So the first one on my list for this spring is to set up the bathhouse here for the event.
Okay.
And I think that is one we've decided is really happening, right?
The little one.
The
not
little, so
the-
what, here's how this started, guys, is I want a bathhouse with 2 toilets, either composting and flushing, and 2 showers here that we can heat and cool. And then we have a little sink on the outside French porch where you can wash your hands. And all of that either goes into a tank underneath it that we can pump, or we put in a second septic system, or whatever has to happen for that. So that was something I was really wanting to have in place for the spring workshop. But as Tactical and I got to talking about it, he raised an objection. And his objection was it's a push to get that done by the workshop. And then we won't spend time getting the whole thing right. Right?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest objection is it would be a push to get that built to start with, much less starting with nothing on a design.
Well, right, because what we're going to want to do is collect rainwater and other things, and maybe have some solar integrated, and make it, a good example of something that can be done. But those things take time. So I agreed with him, but I also want a way for people to take a shower here. So I came up with an idea to build something smaller, and then he said, "Why don't we just get one of those shower surrounds and build it around that?" And then I priced out shower surrounds and decided I'd go even more rustic and just make a normal outdoor shower house on skids that's 4 by 8 feet. And we've agreed on that now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you building it?
No.
Wait, say that again louder.
No.
Yeah, no, he's not building it. Then I reached out to Ken to see if he could build it and get me a cut list based on my design. We already have roofing for it because we have an extra piece of roofing from this roof, which means the 2 roofs will match, which is nice. And then we're going to use, it's basically going to be an outdoor shower house. There'll be a little gap at the bottom and a little gap at the top on purpose so it can dry out when it gets wet. And, it'll be during the workshop, it'll get used a lot. And then when we have campers through in the campground we haven't built yet, right over there, I'm pointing to right where the hip campground is supposed to go for tent camping. They can use that there. And because it's on skids, we can move it. So I think we're building it over by the outhouse here in that flat area.
Yeah.
And then it can move when it needs to move. So I think the thing I haven't discussed with Ken is making sure it's easy to hook up to the pool so that it's not a big old mess. I have 2 things. I'm not going to go over projects with you that you're not involved with at all right now. Like ordering a microscope. I need to order a microscope. Unless you want to order it.
I'd like to have that sooner rather than
Yeah. Next is to set up the compost bins and scoop out the coop and then add biochar.
Wait, what?
Right. I made this list before you set up the compost bins and scooped out the coop, and we've added biochar. So that one's done. Except we don't have a biochar system.
No.
Do you think we can get a biochar system set up here before the spring workshop?
Probably.
Okay. So I have that circled. Make Taj Mahal work better for participants.
I'm gonna leave that one to the women folk.
But
y'all can have all the conversations you want to about that.
Yes. We need to start at a baseline there, though.
My baseline for that is empty.
Yeah. So that means sooner rather than later to get it emptied out is going to come up? Is that something you can participate in, or do we just need to figure that out?
No, it's most of the stuff that I have under there right now is the buckets that I need to get cleaned out. And I've got some stuff in the trailer that's going to needs to
Excuse
finish
me.
getting scattered, which is why that's still sitting there. I got about half of it done. And then got some miscellaneous tools and stuff up there, but that's easy enough.
Yep. And then setting up the rest of the raised beds. So my job on that, as I understand it, is to put together the last raised bed, and you're going to put them in the way you want them.
Yeah,
What's your timeline on that?
depends on when that other bed gets put together.
Okay. I mean, can you bolt the two together and start on those while I put that together slowly?
Not by myself.
Okay. So you need an extra set of hands too?
Yeah.
Okay. There's all these extra hands around.
Okay.
Like, when do you think you want to start taking that on, though?
I don't know.
Like, if you could have hands whenever you want it.
I don't know. I've got 15 things on my current immediate priority list. So,
I mean, I only know about 2 things on your current immediate priority list.
I don't know what you have.
It's the human manure pile. And you said something about something this morning. I actually don't know what the second thing is. Probably that fence.
I don't remember what I said either.
Yeah, I think it's that fence and the human manure pile.
Like, when we get done with this, my first priority is to get all the comfrey sitting on my back porch back in the ground.
Okay. But can we, like, take a pause before you do that to show her how to drill the things for the human manure pile?
Probably.
Because what we're trying to learn how to do, guys, is actually get the priorities done rather than wander off and do random things. Because what happens is our priority list just stays there and doesn't get done. So, okay. Fix the outhouse. If we're not building a bathhouse, we need to fix the outhouse.
Somebody, not me, needs to be involved with that, because I can only see one issue with it, and I've heard a lot more complaints about other issues that I don't see.
Okay. What's the issue you see?
I know of one gap,
Okay.
which is that one is valid, and then the rest of it's like,
You don't care about the other gaps?
Well, it seems fine to me. Like, there's one big gap that I'm aware of.
Okay. Are there any other issues that anybody else has noticed in the room? Or nobody's been there? So any gaps need to be plugged. Like,
I would rebuild the whole thing.
But between now and April, we're not rebuilding the whole thing, are we?
Hang burlap.
You can still see through burlap.
Yeah, like, the way that thing is constructed, you're going to have some level of gap unless you take the whole thing apart, get more boards, and reskin the whole thing.
Okay, so what you want is for me to go out there and show you which gaps really need to be filled?
I mean, sure, because, like, looking at it, yeah, there's one gap that's too big. The rest of the gaps, as far as I'm concerned, unless somebody's walking up and looking through the gap, like with your eye up to it, you ain't gonna see nothing. And if somebody at the workshop does that, well, it won't end well for them.
They would be construed as weird. Okay. Get the rest of the seedlings going. So this morning, what things do you still want to start for the spring?
I don't know.
What did you tell me this morning?
I don't remember. I mean, I know I've got a couple of things going. I don't even know what you have going. So there's some stuff that I'm gonna know. Like I know I'm gonna want basil, but you said you have that.
Yeah.
So probably on the list that you don't have is holy basil.
Yeah, I don't love holy basil, so
I use it every day.
that's okay. Is that better just to buy as a plant and propagate?
Possibly.
Okay.
I don't have any seed for it.
I don't have any seed for it either. I mean, we can get it at the store.
Somebody else does.
Somebody in this room does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, we are coming to you live from the Base Camp Lodge at the Holler Homestead, and we have a live studio audience today. That's what we should do, is just start having a live studio audience with a bunch of people, don't you think? Anyway, Anne says, I have some holy basil I can bring Saturday. Perfect. Awesome. What else are you? Starts or seeds, doesn't matter. Either way, we're good.
Well,
because Saturday we're bringing starts and seeds to the meetup that we can exchange if we want to.
She's bringing it tomorrow. It does make a difference because I need to know what to be prepared for. If it's seed, then I've got time. If it starts, then I need a place to put them.
I have a place to put them in my little plant. It's too early to put it out.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I have space for.
Okay.
I have a whole shelf available.
Yeah. I don't have space for it because my space is occupied by somebody else's stuff.
We tried a new experiment this week, and this is kind of why we're having this painful conversation right now. It was to be better at telling each other what we're working on and then ways we can work together on things. And one of the things that came up this week was that the seedlings in the basement here were not germinating. And I think it's because the basement's really cold, and it's been really cold. And so I wanted to move the seedlings. Plus, he had my seedlings in his house because he already had a setup for it. And they had gotten to the point where they were leaf touching the lights, right?
Yeah.
And their roots are going through the pots. So it's time to transplant those. So one of my responsibilities this week was seedling situation. And what I realized is I have a beautiful Martha tent from North Spore where I grow mushrooms, but I'm not growing mushrooms right now. It's growing seedlings, except for they're not germinating because the basement's too cold. So Jenny helped me move the entire rig over to my house. And then Valerie has already added additional lights. So I have like whole bays of areas where we can put stuff in that now. And I feel like that's enough space for us to get through April, which is what we're talking about right now. And I know like you have a vision for building a whole different seed thing that we should draw on paper, but I'm not worried about that getting done till fall seed start season at the earliest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was also looking at the system Jack just set up. And it's like, if I can actually find an appropriate tray, that would be so easy to convert my indoor AP to be able to do that because I already have extra. I left the pipe ends open to be able to add.
Yeah.
So I could set that up in my seed start area.
You were looking at this flush and fill bed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a feta cheese. Can you see that? You can kind of see it. These are the curds I made. I'm going to put it near the camera and drip on the floor and hope people can see it. What I'm doing right now is stirring those because they're cooking. And after the show, I'll end up straining them and then draining them, and then they will turn into feta cubes. So, and that will be served at the spring workshop in April. Speaking of things I need to get done before April. On my project list, Tactical, is to build my temporary garden fence.
Okay.
And I think I'm just going to start building it. If there is, like, I'd like to show you where I'm planning to put it so that if there's something that cuts you off from something, we can. I'm trying to make it so it's not a mowing nightmare.
That's already a mowing nightmare.
But no, I don't mean inside. I mean outside around it.
Oh.
Yeah. My intention is to get a battery operated mower for there so that you don't have to get the big giant thing through there.
Yeah, I don't even think it'll fit.
It won't. That's that's why. Okay. This one's exciting. We need to get the humanure pile set up here and a backup humanure pile. And we got 4 barrels with lactic acid in them, which means that, by the way, lactic acid is what I'm doing right there with the cheese. So it's it's actually good for the compost, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So they have a little bit in them, but it also means we got food grade buckets so that whatever it was would be easier to clean. We originally got some buckets with a non-food grade substance, and there's always a little bit less buckets, but barrels. There's always a little bit left in the barrels, and then you have to do something with it. And what we were like, we actually are just going to give these barrels back to the county at hazardous waste day because we don't want that on the ground. So we got the lactic acid, and Tactical has cut the first bucket, right?
Yeah.
And we have 3 more to do. And once we figure out all of how this one goes together, we can actually get the other 3 done. So we have them ready to go. And we use the 55-gallon drums with PVC down on the sides for airflow. So it's got drilled holes in it. So that, and it's cut at the bottom and the top, and it composts in place for 2 years, and you put it somewhere where you're going to want compost that's not your vegetable garden. And then when it's done with 2 years, you lift it up and move it. So where we are at with this is getting our first. So I have one that has been composting for a year at my house. The second one we've been using that will top off at the workshop, and as of April, it will be no longer used and start its 2-year journey. And we'll have a third one over there during the workshop in case we need it. Same thing will happen here where we start a couple of them.
Yeah.
And then rotate them. So that's actually a system I think we should start showing people when we tour, like how that gets managed.
Okay.
But that's on my before April list. Guess what's next? The basement.
Living nightmare.
Why is that a nightmare?
It's still like I got some stuff stabilized down there. The electrical is still a ridiculous mess.
Is the water that's seeping in because we haven't filled the ditch in? Or do we need to do more sealing there?
As far as I know, the only water that came in was when that hole was open.
It appears that more water came in when it rained the other day.
That's actually not surprising. I do need to actually seal that, which requires me finding a caulk gun with caulk and then getting the mortar out.
Do you need a special kind of caulking?
I have a specific one that I'm going to use.
Do you have it, or do I need to pick it up?
I should have it.
Okay.
Because I usually keep a tube of that on hand for this reason.
Okay.
I even know roughly where it should be. But then again, I knew where my colander should have been. Where I found it was on my kitchen counter. And I have no idea why.
Yeah, the funniest thing happened yesterday. I went to make my kefir straining, which I do at night, and my colander was gone. And I'm looking everywhere for where I would have put my colander, can't find it. And finally I say something out loud. Hey, AutoFab, welcome to the show. And Tactical's like, oh, I took that. Right?
Yeah.
Were you listening?
Yeah. I also just got a message about something that I already said that I need to hold off on doing something with. So that was I got a hold fire message.
Oh, okay. Hold fire?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to shoot something later?
No.
Okay, cool.
But I'm going to restrain myself from digging up more stuff.
Okay, good. Anyway, so I don't actually remember what I was talking about because I got distracted by your text. Oh, yeah. So anyway, the colander. So then he brings it up and he's like, this is the only colander I knew where it was. And he was mad. And then he goes,
only colander in the entire holler that I could find.
Yeah.
I looked through my house 3 times. I looked in all the other places. Literally, that was the only, like, I know
So he
I
made
have
off with my colander is what I'm saying, and then it was not there.
I remember having at least 3.
Yeah.
And the one that I found, I don't even know where it came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a result, I have a pile of random colanders on my bar.
Yeah.
Do we need any more colanders at base camp? No? Okay. So, are you afraid to make noises? Yes. Okay. It's always fun when John Willis does his thing because his guy talks to him, but it's always in a quieter volume because it's off camera. But yeah. Anyway. This next one. You ready?
Okay.
Move my glamper to where it's supposed to be.
We might get that done by August.
My question is this. If I just hire somebody to do it, is that going to make you mad?
No, it's just a matter of,
Ground has to be dry enough.
yeah, that's the problem.
And then we need to run water and power to it.
Yeah, there's a whole fencing conversation involved with that part.
Well, so is the water hose still in the ground up to that area?
Kind of.
What's kind of mean?
It's still there.
And can I tap into it if I run a hose through the tunnel?
No. Like, the pipe is still there. It's just in the middle of stuff. So we need to figure out where the fence line is actually going to go so that I can set that properly.
Do you have to set it, or can I have somebody else set it?
Somebody else can set it. The problem is, as of right now, I don't know where to tell them to set it.
Okay. If I know where I want it and I show it to you, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And
that's
then
one of those, we need to go up there and look at it.
that's fine. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to try to describe to you where I think it should go because that wouldn't be useful at all. I'd just say words and you'd say, okay, but I need to see it. AutoFab
Okay.
says you have special cock with an L.
Okay.
He's trolling you. Outdoor kitchen setup. Do I have power and water to the outdoor kitchen at this time, or is plumbing required?
No, that's all still ready to go.
Except for the outlets that don't work.
Yeah, there's the one outlet that needs to get troubleshot.
Well, there's 2 outlets that don't work.
It's the same thing.
Oh, okay. So I need to have an electrician out, is what I'm hearing.
Either that or I've got to have the time to dig into it.
Yeah, but you don't have the time to dig into it. We
Yeah,
talked about all the other stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
You ready for the next one?
Okay.
What would it look like to have the camping cabin cleaned out so that we could put a cot in there? Is that feasible or is that too much before April?
It's feasible. You can put a cot in there now. You're just going to be in there with some truck parts and a bunch of feed.
Well, I'm talking about that. Where are we going to move the feed if we don't keep it in there? Is there a place for it?
No.
What was our long-term solution for that?
We didn't have one.
Okay.
I mean, build a barn.
Can we build a feed storage building that would keep it safe?
The list of, can we just build a dedicated fill in the blank list of things is a long list.
I'm aware. I'm not saying before April. I'm just asking big picture. Is that what needs to happen? Because I know that redoing the entire workshop into a barn down there is not happening anytime soon, budget-wise.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm looking at, you want that and one for the lawnmower and garden tools and one for the firewood, and like tally all those together. How much money are we going to spend? You may as well just build a barn.
Except for the barn you want me to build is $80,000.
No, it isn't.
When we started building that out, it was an $80,000 design. And a shed is like $500. But a feed shed. So the question is, how do we keep the feed safe? Because the reason it's where it is that building is already mouse proof.
Yeah. I mean, the next best option is closing the basement all the way in.
Which basement?
The only basement here.
Okay.
This one.
What about, like, what do other farmers do to keep the mice out of their feed? Because they don't always have a mouse-proof place.
I don't know.
Like, Jack puts his in his garage on a pallet. Is there like a metal box thing that people keep that kind of thing in? Anybody in the comments know? Like, what do people do if you're gonna store the equivalent of about a pallet's worth, right, of feed at a time? It's about 1,000 pounds we do at a time right now. Not even that much. I mean, it's dog food. It's everything.
I'm not even sure what the total quantity is.
Like, the reason it's not in the workshop where it should go is that mice will get into it. Right?
Yeah. And like that first round of barrels we got is going to reduce that to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I need to do is get the other 2 barrels cleaned out, and that will hold probably 10 bags, which is about half of what we usually buy at a time for the ducks.
Okay.
And then you're down to basically just dog
food and duck food. Yeah.
And then any temporary, like,
rabbit food's all self-contained, right?
Yeah, rabbit food's self-contained. And usually what I do for the
sheep
rabbits...
treats are sheep treats. They're not even interesting to rodents, right?
I mean, they might be, but usually with that stuff, when I'm almost down to the bottom of the barrel, I'll go buy another bag or 2, and then once the barrel's empty, dump the bag in. So you're usually storing a bag of something for a couple of days.
Pippin says a small shipping container, maybe, but that's more storage than we need. Like, I'm actually going to go look at Tractor Supply and see if rich people, if like homestead yuppies have a solution. Like, is there a feed storage bin that's portable sort of thing, but also weatherproof? Out of curiosity, what do you think?
I mean, I think you're divided into 2 categories on that. You're going to have your homesteader crew, and you're going to have your like full-on farm crew, and they're buying stuff that's pallet size, but it's not bagged.
Yeah. And well, and the other thing is, like, IBC totes don't work because mice can eat through it. Otherwise, I'd just say we get an IBC tote and figure out a lid for it or something. But the mice will eat through the plastic. So then we have the same problem, right?
I mean, it depends. The only thing I've had them chew through is the smaller Rubbermaid trash cans.
So something I know about mice is they cannot climb up the corrugated metal.
Okay.
So if we had something that had sides that they couldn't drop onto, they can't climb up the corrugated metal.
Okay.
Because it's too slippery.
Okay.
So we could make a way of storing it in the workshop near the ducks with corrugated metal on the outside. Like,
then you got to get your gap at the bottom to where they can't get through it.
Yeah, it has to go all the way to the ground.
Well, even at that, like, I'd be skeptical of being able to seal the bottom of that well enough to keep mice
So what I'm
out.
hearing you say right now is, unless we solve the feed problem, that camping can't be ready, which is okay.
I mean,
This is about, we're not going to try to do this whole list before April anyway.
It depends. Is somebody going to complain about 2 bags of dog food sitting there? Depends on who you want to have in there.
Right. Well, I mean, long term, I want to have it on hip camp, so that's why I'm thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And I would say our feed storage has been non-ideal, or that's now just a feed storage cabin, and then we should take everything else out of it and set it up for feed storage.
That's way too much for feed storage.
You know,
for what we're going through.
Okay, so second, and Pip and I's, a 40-foot high-top Connex is the same price as a cute little 20-foot Ford. Hey, I don't have somewhere where 40-foot Connex could go. Is a bigger issue here. Rubbermaid feed tubs from Tractor Supply are good and waterproof, but 55-gallon drum is bigger and cheaper. Squirrels will chew through, but can't chew the metal ones. Yeah. Plumber Mickey says, cabin comes complete with midnight snacks when you get hungry. Depends how discerning you are. I mean, we buy decent dog food, but it's not necessarily top of the line, although it should be. Okay. I would like to declutter the firewood in the yard. And so if there are extra people Saturday saying, what can I do? We can restack the firewood near somewhere. Like where the box elder that's in the middle of the yard, where would you want me to stack that? Or do you care? I'll just choose a place.
Getting used for redneck swales because it's shot.
Okay, that's fine, but it's in the way. So be that as it may. There's also a pile of dirt by the rabbits that's in the middle of the yard. Yeah. Roasting shack painted, deck stained, wall of base camp painted. Is that too many?
For me, yeah.
For us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we need helpers?
It'd be very nice if you want to get all that done.
Anybody want to stain the deck? I think those are all my big things. I would love it if the workshop were reorganized in a way we agree, because you've been reorganizing it your way and I've been coming down and wanting it my way, and we're not aligning on how it gets organized.
I'm still of the opinion we need to get rid of a lot of the stuff that's in there.
Okay.
And there's also the rest of the old shelves that need to get gutted.
Mm-hmm. And then we're bringing in like the on casters shelves is what you think would go best there?
Probably.
Okay. That's my whole list right now. Right. So for me, like that's a lot. That's too much to do before April. Yeah, like you just kept saying yes to everything. So what are we saying no to? That's the next question.
I don't know.
Carrie says, get a prefabricated metal shed delivered.
Okay.
For the feed?
Not a fan of those for that.
Why?
I find that mice can get into them.
Okay.
Which is why, I like those 2 barrels for the bags and the 30 gallons we got for everything else.
And we just want to put it all in barrels?
We'd have to find more barrels of the 50-gallon variety.
Oh, you don't want the 30-gallon ones?
Not for bags.
Not for bags of feed?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Like the 30 gallons are good for emptying the bag of feed into the barrel. The 50-gallon barrels are good for dropping 5 to 6 bags into.
How many would you need?
I don't know. I'd have to do math.
How many bags do you store at a time? 20?
I don't remember. That's the problem.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell you for goat, we might or might not have a bag dogs, we usually have 2 to 5 bags, but those wouldn't go into one of those barrels. Dog food's probably the most difficult to store because of those bags. But
What? Because they're big.
yeah, they don't flex a whole lot. Most of your feed, like the duck feed, it's easy to manipulate those bags to fit more into a barrel. The bags of dog food are basically a rectangle, and they're going to stay a rectangle until you open and dump them. So, and they're the ones that when I open a bag, like those, that the dog food can't get stored in a 30-gallon barrel because it's impossible to move with the dogs.
Oh, I meant for storage at our house that we pull from into your other existing storage things.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The dog food is the one that's the most difficult.
What we have that's working for the dogs right now, so let's remember how you're saying it's the question you asked. What we have that's working for the dogs right now is we have a centralized area where everybody's dog food is.
Yeah.
And we pull from that. So my thought is it could be in a barrel in the same place even. And we pull from it for your dog, my dog, wherever. We can't do that?
I'm not going to sit there and scoop dog food out of a barrel to put in the bins.
Okay.
And
you're saying the bags won't fit in a barrel?
Not very well.
Okay.
I mean, you could probably fit maybe 2 of those in a 50.
And if we poured it into a 30-gallon barrel?
It's still too big to be able to dump.
No, I mean, if we dump it into the 30, we can scoop from that into your little...
Yeah, that's the problem, is I don't want to have to sit there and scoop it.
Oh, okay.
Because the way my cycle normally goes with it is I will open a bag of dog food. I will dump it into the bin that goes with the dogs. When the bin that's in the pasture is almost empty, I will take that one over. And generally speaking, usually one bag will fill 2 bins for the LGDs and my 5-gallon bucket for Sonny.
Okay.
So if I empty a whole bag, it just happens to be on that cycle where I've got both bins of dog food for the LGDs empty, and I'll just top off everything at once. But usually I dump about little less than half a bag into a bin, take it to the pasture, bring the other one back, and dump the rest of the bag into the other one. Is usually the way that cycle goes. But like,
and we're storing 3 to 5 bags of dog food at a time.
Usually.
So if we separate out the dog food, we can just use 55-gallon drums of the feed and have this project done, except for the dog food, right?
Yeah.
And then if I make place in the prepper pantry for bags of dog food, then we can just put them on shelves there.
If you can make room in the prepper pantry.
Yeah. Some things, I mean, the reason I want to put up this thing for my garden stuff is like a third of the prepper pantry is garden stuff.
Oh.
So I want to get it out and into a storage area near my garden.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But even if we solve the problem for the camping shack with just the dog food left, we can actually deep clean it, paint it, and get it set up so it's nice and not full of feed dust.
Okay.
I'm not sure on the priority list that's top of the list, but if we end up having time, somebody would want to sleep in there, I bet. What do you guys think? Pack Rat says a little round grain storage bin is meant to be varmint resistant. That's true. Anyway, that's my whole list. Did you think it was going to be longer?
Do you think that's short?
Yeah. It's 2 things a week, guys. Why are you laughing?
2 things a week.
Yeah.
How long have we been trying to get this building painted?
Yeah. I'm half of a mind to get a bid to have it sprayed.
Biggest hold up with this has been the weather.
Yeah, that's true. Today would be a great day to paint base camp.
You have time for it?
No, not today.
No.
Yeah, I know. It's like one of the first like real days where I'm like, actually, I could paint something and it would cure all the way.
Yeah.
But we need to get the sanding done on that side. So,
Okay.
in order to do that side. What else happened on the homestead this week that you want to share besides the mouse coming airborne and being caught by the kitten?
We are retraining ducks to come when called. I actually need to get a little bit better on the cycle, but I've got 2 of the 30-gallon barrels with corn and sunflower seed that I've been soaking to get it to sprout. And the last couple of days, it's been you call the ducks and a couple of them show up. And then a couple more might come by and realize that I'm throwing stuff. And they come over. And so at this point today, they actually figured it out. Like, he's yelling, there's good stuff. And I think all but one came up.
Cool. I should do that too so they come to more than one yell.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you got it started.
Yeah. I have not gotten it built into the routine yet. So it's like right now I don't have anything starting.
Right.
So I need to do that again today to get another round of that stuff going. But hopefully that will make putting them to bed a little bit easier too.
Yeah, I'd love to get them back to you can put them to bed in the middle of the day and they'll happily go.
Yeah.
Not that we do that very often, but sometimes you're like, we're going to leave and it's going to be dark in 3 hours and it's better just to shut them up for the night because there's nobody here. Yeah. So you're using 30-gallon drums for sprouting seeds?
No, that's where I have all of the stuff in.
Oh.
And then I've got 3 1-gallon buckets.
Okay. Yeah.
For actually doing it. And like, I started by doing like, I don't know, 3 inches of corn in a feed scoop and then like half a scoop of sunflower seed. And that's too much.
Yeah.
I don't eat that much. So I'm going to bump it down to like maybe 1 inch of corn and then fill the rest of the feed scoop halfway up with sunflower seeds and see how far that goes with them.
Yeah, the sprouted sunflower seed greens are really like ducks love those. It's duck crack basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and
awesome.
I think they actually prefer the cracked corn if you soak it over the full corn because I think it's a little too big for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Soak it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was hoping that it would just soften up enough. They will eat it, but they definitely go after the sunflower seeds first.
Yeah. I mean, you might be able to just go straight up sunflower seed. Be easier.
So we'll see.
Cool. Anyway, guys, that's the update from the homestead coming to you live from the base camp kitchen where I'm making cheese. So at this point, the feta curds they've been cooking this whole time. And what I have is this pot in hot water in my sink basically. So it's at about between 85 and 88 degrees. So those giant curds are now smaller because they cooked. And all that cooking is doing is just pressing that whey out, giving them some structure. And then what I'll do next is pour this into a colander with cheesecloth on it, like actual cheesecloth, not the cheesecloth that's like super wide, but actual a cheese straining cloth. 100 count sheets work for that if you want to make your own. Just don't use sheets because that'd be gross. And then you you let it, I just hang it right here and let it drip. But at this point now, Tactical, I have a whole bunch of whey for you.
Okay.
Do you need any whey for anything?
I am probably going to use some of that, yes.
Yeah, there's like 1.5 gallons in my fridge right now, and then the whey that I have from this will be probably another 1/2 gallon or so. And I always like to spray the trees with it too. So I may next week sometime spray the trees, because I won't commit to doing anything this weekend because my choir has a concert. So I'll be at dress rehearsal and a concert this weekend.
Okay.
Anyway, if you like the show, want to support the work we're doing here, you can do it in 2 ways. One, get your coffee where? hollerroast.com. Also, consider becoming a member. We're about to release our membership webinar schedule for the year. With that, go out, make it a great week.